Time to work on the Prelude. So, I've got my daughter's Prelude in the garage again because it's time to fix the power steering. I'm kind of sick of having drips of power steering fluid on the driveway, so it's time to reseal this thing. The previous owners said they had resealed it, but I'm not too sure because as I'm sitting here looking at it, it's just got power steering fluid on it. But on closer inspection, I can kind of tell where it's leaking from. But the good news is, it's genuine Honda power steering fluid. It looks like it's dripping out of this joint right here. There's 4 bolts that hold this plate on, and it looks like it might be leaking from that section. If we inspect the underside, we can probably see it dripping. So let me get the camera right in here and get some light on that. Sure enough, there's a drip. There's another one. So, it's definitely leaking from the power steering. And I don't see leaks coming from anywhere else. That's good news. So, now I've just got to order the parts so we can get it rebuilt. And that reminds me, when are we going to talk about the R6? We'll get to the R6 in another video. I want to get finished with this Prelude. Besides, after the power steering, I think I'm also going to fix the oil leak at the VTEC solenoid. So let's get a move on. Well, here it is, power steering pump. As I spin it, it's spinning pretty freely, so I'm not worried about damage to the pump. All I need to do is remove a couple miscellaneous nuts and bolts, and then I can just grab it and yank it right out. But I'm not going to make you watch me do all of that, so editor, do me a favor. Cue the hyperlapse. Sweet. That came out pretty easily. And as I'm looking through it, it's nice and clean. So now it's time to rebuild this thing. So let me throw it on the bench and then take care of a couple little things. So as you saw, I did wrap up the ends of the power steering lines, but now what I need to do is I need to get them up and out of the way and secured, because my daughter's going to need to drive this for a couple days before I can reinstall it. So I'm just going to zip tie these guys onto some hard points nearby, and it'll be good to go. Thank you, mailman. We got all our parts in for the power steering pump, so we're ready to begin. To start off with, I got a Gates power steering pump rebuild kit. Same one I used for my Integra, works great, has all the necessary gaskets. I've also got the VTEC solenoid gaskets. That's going to fix the oil leak on the passenger side of the engine. And I also got the old school Honda emblem for the trunk, which is currently missing on the car. All right, so with Gumby supervising, I think we're ready to begin. Now, I personally hate cleaning gunk out from under my fingernails, so I'm always going to use the gloves. So I have to get these guys on. Now, I'm sure many of you have already rebuilt power steering pumps, or if you have already seen one online, you don't need to see me do it. So again, I'm going to ask the editor to turn on the hyperlapse. so I've got it all torn down. And man, these O-rings were brittle. This one was already cracked when I opened it up. This one is flat and like hard as, it's like plastic. It's not even rubber. As I look through the rest of the parts, there's no wear. Everything looks really good. All of the vanes for the pump are nice and crisp. Everything else looks good. So I think we're going to be able to just clean it up and then put it all back together. Okay, so I've got a little problem. My daughter said the other day when she started up, it was making a real whiny, loud pitched noise, and it was vibrating pretty badly. Well, I'll be honest, I don't know much about H series motors. I've worked on D series, and I know a lot about Bs, and even a little bit about Ks and my J series, but I've never even laid a wrench on an H series motor. So I did a little research. Come to find out, H series has two balance shafts. And it sounds to me like the belt that runs those balance shafts have broken. So I think I'm going to have to tear it apart and verify. Oh boy. Sure enough, that belt is shredded. So it looks like it's just time to change out the timing belt, water pump, and everything else that's related to it. So those parts are on order, but let's get back to the power steering. All right, so the power steering's all buttoned up. No sounds, no leaks, good to go. Project done. I went ahead and ordered the belts and stuff for the timing belt and balance shaft belt replacement. Those will be here next week, so that's going to be our next video. But speaking of next video, if you noticed during this one I tried voiceovers for the first time, and I kind of like the way it makes the videos like sound and feel, so I think I'm going to keep doing that. But let me know what you think. Leave me a comment letting me know if you like the voiceovers or whatever else. I'm just experimenting here, I never know. All right, so if you like going through the gears with me, if you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, and join me for the next time when we go through the gears. All right. Thanks a lot, airplane. Right, so power steering is all buttoned up and we're good to go. If I knew what to say, let me know in the comments. So if you don't, oh, snap. Wait, which side of the camera? Oh, yeah.